Season 2 Reloaded has added a brand new side Easter egg into Cold War Zombies Outbreak mode, with the reward for this Easter egg being throwbacks to classic Call of Duty Zombies maps such as Verruckt, Shi No Numa, and Ascension. This is easily one of the hardest Easter eggs in Outbreak right now due to how random this Easter egg can spawn. I've spent well over 10 hours in-game trying to record every single thing for this guide. So if you do find this video useful, then feel free to leave a like rating as it really helps out the channel. But with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. And like I said earlier, this is one of the hardest Easter eggs in Cold War Zombies solely based on how random it is and how often it spawns, which it isn't very often at all. But if you've been playing Outbreak, you'll notice somewhere on your minimap, not your overworld map, but your minimap, you may have noticed this new icon which looks like a satellite. It only appears when you get close to it, and you can find this on all 4 maps, and we're going to be going over all the locations that you can find them on every map. Just before I do show those, I want to go ahead and explain how this Easter egg works. So in your game, if you come across this, it links to a radio which says unknown signal with a prompt to listen to the signal. Doing so is going to cause an alarm sound to play out of the radio, and you're going to have a swarm of zombies that are going to be spawning in, which are attracted to the sound of this ringing alarm. Once you've taken out all of the zombies, you'll now hear the radio play a different sound effect, which could be one of about 6 different sounds. Have a good listen to the sound that it's making, keep that in your head, and around the area close to that radio, you're going to be looking for 3 Signal Amplifier radios that are hidden in close proximity to that initial radio, but the only way you're going to find them is by listening out for little sound cues, radio static, that get louder as you get closer to the radio. Your job is to find these 3 signal amplifiers and change the signal on each of the 3 amplifiers so it matches the same sound that the original radio is making. What is incredibly cool about this Easter egg is some of the sound effects Treyarch have used for this hark back to things from Black Ops 1 10 years ago, such as sound effects from the marketing campaign for Black Ops 1 called GK Nova 6. Certain signal amplifiers will initiate that alarm again once you're cycling through the sounds to find the correct one, but when all 3 have been correctly changed to the correct sound effect, if you go back to the original radio, it will now give you an option to listen to the full signal, and in doing so will pop out a load of points as well as an actual in-game item for you to pick up, which is a cassette tape which has the potential to be one of 3 classic zombie songs: Lullaby for a Deadman from Verruckt, The One from Shi No Numa, and Abracadavre from Ascension, as well as Brave, a song from Black Ops 3's campaign, and Amerikan Infiltration from Cold War's campaign. Once you pick these up, these are added to your music player so you can play these in-game permanently, and a reference in the music player as a version of a classic Call of Duty Zombies track discovered in the Outbreak zone. Now we've gone over how the Easter egg works, let's break down each map's location so you know exactly where you'll find this signal. You can do this Easter egg, but I have to remind you, this is complete random if it will spawn in at all. If you need further help, I'll leave overworld images in the description for you to open for each map. You can quickly glance at where you need to check if you've not checked it yet. Starting off with Alpine, our first location is going to be the hillside cabins, where you'll find the radio next to this little open fire area. Again, starting it will have zombies spawn in, and once the zombies have finished, you'll then be able to hear the sound you'll be looking out for. The first amplifier can be found in the far left cabin right behind this radio. All you need to do is run up the stairs, then run into the house, and you'll be going through the doorway up the staircase, and right at the top in the corner you'll find that first amplifier. Our second location, if we jump off the balcony and then run towards this cabin right on the end of these set of 3, if you go to the back doors, you'll find the next one on top of this table. And our third amplifier is going to have us running away from the signal amplifier towards Deadman's Cliff, with this little shed here where you'll find it here on this table. Pleasing it here got me the song Abracadavre. Second radio spot on Alpine can be found in base cabins on this frozen lake, which is right here on our overworld map, and the radio should be to the side of these boxes here behind this hockey goal. Just off the side of the lakes is going to be a slot of several base cabins that you'll be able to go into, and you'll be wanting to go to this one on the far end here, and as we open the door, to the left of the door should be this radio here in the corner. Our second radio location is going to be in a set of 4 houses behind the frozen lake, and it's going to be this one right here, second from the left. Inside the house will be a little box where a TV and flower pot will be up on, and it will be on the side just there. The last location will take us to the other side of the frozen lake, this other hillside cabin on the far end on the left, and when opening the door door into the cabin, it should be here in this corner behind the door. Our last main radio spawn for Alpine is going to be in the first aid station, and you'll want to climb up these little hills here. Right where I've marked should be a radio spawn if you see it on your mini-map. If you come down from the hills and then make your way to this furthest little hut here, you should notice it just to the side of this coat banister here. The second amplifier spot will take you to this hangar in Medivac, which is just above the main radio. And you'll be climbing atop this box opposite the armor station, and it should be just there against these sandbags. The third location is in Medivac, which is just to the side here behind this petrol station. Up against these set of bricks, the last radio should be there. Now let's move on to the other three maps. At the time of this video going out, I've only ever seen 2 locations for these maps. If a third does exist for these maps, I'll include it in the location map in the description. Jumping to Golova, our first location is called the Granary, which is in this portion of the map, and in this building you can find the main radio here. Our first amplifier radio is going to be on the left side of this middle silo. The second can be found next to this wood behind the set of 3 circular shaped buildings here, and the final one can be found directly to the right in this garage section of the Granary, where you'll find it here next to this shelf. Our second Golova location can be found in the lower west town, where you'll find the main radio right here, just behind the armor station. Our first amplifier is actually going to be on the roof of the armor station area, which you can get to by mantling up through here, and as you can see, it's here. Our second location is going to be directly behind the main radio in this building here, where you're going to enter through the window and then go up the stairs and out through this side, and you'll find the radio up against the edge of this balcony here. Our third and final radio is going to be directly to the left of the main radio here next to these crates of fruit. Jumping over to Ruka, our first location is going to be here in the Greek Dacha area. This is where we are on the overworld map, and you're going to notice this little box here should have a radio on it if you found the signal on your mini map here. Our first amplifier is going to be in this barn directly in front, and it's going to be right next to this lantern here as it's marked right here. Our second amplifier can be found in this shack here behind where we found the main radio, and it's going to be on this table next to the fireplace right there. And finally, if we cross this little bridge of water and enter this tiny shed here, you'll find the last and final amplifier on the floor to the left of this table. The second location in Ruka can be found in the officer's quarters, which is directly in front of the mystery box location, and can be found on some oil drums pressed up against this container. Our first amplifier can be found on the back of this lorry in between middle and left shack in the barracks. The next amplifier can be found by going to the mystery box location and then jumping upwards towards the edges of the obstacle course, and you'll find it right here. And the final one can be found if you back up yourself from the main radio and then go into this shack here, where in the corner you'll find the third radio there. Finally, moving on to the last map, Sanatorium, if you make your way to the administration building and climb up to the roof, which is marked on the map here, right against this little ventilation shaft, if you see the icon on your mini map, the radio will be there. The first one, you want to take a zip line onto the Sanatorium roof, continue straight forwards, and then take a left into this first hut, and against this banister you should see the first radio lying there. Once you've activated that, jump off the roof that you ziplined onto, fly past administration and to this section here where we're on the south lake, and land next to this square set of plants, and you should see the radio behind it right here on this map. And the final radio is going to take us onto the pier, where on this bench right here on the left side you should see the radio right there. And our second location for a main radio in Sanatorium will be in the vacation home section. You'll be looking for this house in this part of the map right here. If you see the icon, make your way up to this room on the first floor, and you should see it perched up against this sofa. From here, make your way out of this window directly straight forwards, and you should see this little shed in front, where if you go inside, in this corner next to the window, you should see the first radio. For our second radio, you'll be looking for this house, which is here on the map. If you come inside, you should see a table, where on this table, you'll find the radio there. And the final radio location will take us to this home right next to the jump pad. What you'll want to do is make your way inside, make your way through to the back, and outside on this bench, you should notice it right there. That is all locations known so far on all 4 Outbreak maps. Like I said, I have a feeling that there are 3 locations on all 4 maps, but as of right now, I have played over 12 hours and I've not come across any locations that haven't been shown in this video. If more are found, I will update the description with that map image and I will make a follow-up video if necessary. I really hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, a like would be super appreciated. Be sure to subscribe as well for more guides and Easter egg content like this for Cold War Zombies, and I'll catch you in the next one.